Greetings and welcome to another edition of Alusine Multicultural Family Consulting. I'm happy to be here with you as usual. For today, our topic has to do with the self-concept. Some call it identity. Some call it self-concept. Some call it self-esteem. So there are many ways we identify the concept of self. Someone once said, "Know thyself," because the self-concept is a basic unit of communication. It affects the messages we send, and it affects the messages we receive, how we decode those messages. The self-concept has to do with our physical. I'm a handsome man, for example. That's my physical. The self-concept has to do with our social, how we get along with others. The self-concept has to do with our emotional, how we feel about ourselves and others. The self-concept has to do with our psychological, how we relate in terms of self-identity and equilibrium. The self-concept has to do with our spiritual, how we relate to our Maker with estimates of the ultimate God. So the self-concept is multifaceted. It means many things to many people. The self-concept consists of our ideas. For example, my goal is to explore ways we look at the self. The self-concept consists of our beliefs, what we believe in, why we believe the way we do. The self-concept consists of our attitudes, what we like, what we dislike. The self-concept consists of our values, what we cherish, what we desire, what we live for. So the self-concept is a basic unit of communication, and it's multifaceted. How do we develop the self-concept? One way we develop the self-concept is through our significant others. For example, our parents, our role models, those we look up to, those whose opinions we value. Those significant others affect our view of self. Another way we develop the self-concept is based on the roles we play. I'm a teacher, I'm a parent, I'm a granddad, I'm a brother, I'm a sister. Sometimes we play many roles. Sometimes when we play those roles, we identify those roles, we internalize those roles, and they become a part of our self-concept. The self-concept is also developed based on social comparisons, sometimes how we compare ourselves to others, our peers, our cultural encounters. All affects the view of the self. The self-concept consists of our experiences, our beliefs, our values, our attitudes, and our behaviors. The self-concept, a good way to talk about the self-concept is in terms of how it relates to communication. There are two ways the self-concept relates to communication. One is the self-fulfilling prophecy, the tendency to behave as we expect ourselves to behave. Many things in life are a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you tell yourself you can accomplish something and you do what's essential, you do what you have to do in a constructive way, you fulfill your prophecy. Another way we develop the self-concept and communication is other people's expectations. Sometimes the way we expect others' views of us affects our self-concept. A good way to relate to the self-concept and communication is to talk about the topic of assertiveness. Sometimes there are those in life who are passive. They are up to themselves, they don't relate and interact with others. In some aspects, there are those who are overly aggressive. They intimidate others. And being assertive is a good way to identify with the self-concept. Being assertive is when you communicate your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas honestly and directly. The assertive person respects other people's rights and expects other people to respect their rights. When you are assertive, it leads to self-identification. Good leaders are assertive leaders. They respect the right of others and expect other people to respect their rights. The assertive person is persistent. They go after what they want. The assertive person compromises. They give and take. The assertive person copes with criticism. And most of all, the assertive person is respected and respects other people's rights, which is a basic unit in communication. So I hope in today's session I've informed you about the self-concept, that it's a basic unit in communication. It's good to know thyself. It's good to understand how we develop the self-concept, our significant others, the roles we play, the idea that we have our open self, which people will easily know about us. We have our concealed self, things which we know, but other people don't know. We have our blind self. Other people may form impressions which we don't know, and we have our unknown self. So the self-concept is a basic unit. It affects our communication in terms of the self-fulfilling prophecy, in terms of assertiveness. And the idea is that a good way to relate to others is to have a positive self-concept, to respect other people's rights, and to have other people respect our rights. So that's the basis for today's lecture on the self-concept and communication. Because the self-concept affects the messages we send, it affects the messages we receive. Thank you for listening, and it's been a pleasure.